Before I get into making this Kyrie Irving video, I want you guys to look at this part of the video right here. This is on Amazon Prime, where you can watch movies and documentaries and different things like that. They have originals. You guys know Amazon Prime. So the movie link that Kyrie Irving posted to his Twitter, I think it was his Twitter account, was directly taken from Amazon Prime. So let me ask you all to think about this. Why is it that Kyrie is being picked apart just like Kanye was? He is being threatened with, he's already been suspended, okay? And there are some reports where he's been suspended indefinitely. He's also had to donate, I think it was $500,000 to the Anti-Defamation League. So why is it that something that is readily available to everyone on Prime got this man in so much trouble? Why isn't Jeff Bezos and Amazon on the line right along with him? Because any of us can go and watch this 208-minute video on Amazon Prime. I don't understand that. Do you guys understand this? This is BS, like really. So let's get into these articles about what's going on. You guys, I'm not into sports or, at all. I did not even know who he was. So I had to go back and do some digging, to see what kind of person he is, according to everything that's online. And he seems like an outstanding young man. So let's get into these reports about what they are doing to him. So let's go through some of these titles and publications that I've come across online this morning. So ESPN says Kyrie Irving suspended at least 5 games by Nets, apologizes. The next one is the New York Times. Nets suspend Kyrie Irving indefinitely after anti-Semitic movie post. The Ringer online, the self-inflicted demise of Kyrie Irving. The Washington Post, you guys. Do you guys know who owns the Washington Post? Jeff Bezos. Who owns Prime, where this movie came from? Jeff Bezos. But look at what he puts. Well, not him, whoever wrote this, but the buck stops with him, right? The Washington Post, perspective. Delusional, defiant Kyrie Irving is a stain to the NBA, could no longer ignore. Delusional, defiant Kyrie Irving is a stain the NBA could no longer ignore. So how in the hell is it that he posted this from Prime, but he's being called delusional, defiant, and a stain on the NBA? Let's move on. Yahoo Sports. Kyrie Irving apologizes for posting video with false anti-Semitic statements after Nets suspension. What about Prime? Are they going to apologize for having that readily available for everyone to see? Wall Street Journal. Kyrie Irving issues apology in anti-Semitism furor after Nets suspend him. TMZ. Brooklyn Nets suspend Kyrie Irving for at least 5 games. CNN, Kyrie Irving will begin suspension of at least 5 games Friday over anti-Semitism controversy. controversy. The NBA star has since apologized. And then the New York Post, Kyrie Irving finally releases apology after refusal prompted Nets suspension. So once again, I'm going to ask you guys, how is it that Kyrie Irving has a foot up his backside because of posting this link to a movie that is readily available for all to see on Prime? Shouldn't it be the blame of whoever has it on Prime available for people? You pay a little bit and you can see it. So what if one of us regular plain Jane people posted that link to our social media? What would happen to us? Are they zeroing in on him because he's so, visible, and I think he is Hebrew Israelite? Is that why they're coming so hard after him? You guys, you think that this is a free country, but it's far from that, in my opinion. I didn't see anything wrong with him sharing the movie, the link to the movie, because it's available for anyone who wants to pay a little bit to rent the movie on Amazon. So why is it there for the public, but he is in all this trouble? I just don't understand that, right? So let me read you the article from Yahoo Sports. There are more recent articles that have been posted, but they're very, very long. So let me get to this by Yahoo Sports. Kyrie Irving apologizes for posting video with false anti-Semitic statements after Nets suspension. Kyrie Irving apologized Thursday for posting a documentary. Again, you guys, that damn documentary is not something that he filmed and put out there. It's there on the internet on Prime. Okay, back to the article. For posting a documentary with anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and falsehoods on Twitter a few hours after he was suspended 5 games without pay by the Brooklyn Nets. So after he posted it, a few hours later, they suspended him. The apology, published on Instagram, came a little more than a week after the Nets star posted the offensive tweet, which has since been deleted. Irving conceded the video contained some false anti-Semitic statements, narratives, and languages that were untrue and offensive to the Jewish race religion. He went on to directly apologize to the Jewish community, though he indicated there were some parts of the documentary he still agrees with. So let me read to you his entire apology, okay? While doing research on Yahushua, I think it is, I posted a documentary that contained some false anti-Semitic statements, narratives, and language that were untrue and offensive to the Jewish race religion, and I take full accountability and responsibility for my actions. I am grateful to have a big platform to share knowledge, and I want to move forward by having an open dialogue to learn more and grow from this. To all Jewish families and communities that are hurt and affected by my post, I am deeply sorry to have caused you pain, and I apologize. I initially reacted out of emotion to being unjustly labeled anti-Semitic instead of focusing on the healing process of my Jewish brothers and sisters that were hurt from the hateful remarks made in the documentary. I want to clarify any confusion on where I stand fighting against anti-Semitism by apologizing for posting the documentary without context and a factual explanation outlining the specific beliefs in the documentary I agreed with and disagreed with. I had no intentions to disrespect any Jewish culture, history, regarding the Holocaust or perpetuate any hate. I am learning from this unfortunate event and hope we can find understanding between us all. I am no different than any other human being. I am a seeker of truth and knowledge, and I know who I am. Wow. So anyway, you guys, that was his apology and the end of the article that I'm going to read, because it just goes on and on. Oh, wait, it talks about after the apology, he donated $500,000 to the Anti-Defamation League, but they rejected the money. And the video contained a number of widely problematic statements, including a fake quote from Adolf Hitler, whose name was misspelled. So they just go on and on and on and on about this. But my question is, Kyrie Irving has 4.6 million followers. But how many millions of people subscribe to Amazon Prime? Isn't that a bigger problem than a basketball player posting a link? Now, this is the second time that a uber famous person has been in trouble for quoting or sharing a documentary. Remember, Kanye stepped in it when he was on Drink Champs and explaining what he saw on Candace Owens' documentary about Black Lives Matter, where she, in the documentary, this is my opinion about that documentary, you guys. She tried to paint George Floyd's murderer, Derek Chauvin. Now, he's been convicted of the murder, so I can call him a murderer. She went so hard to try to show him as a kind, caring, nerdy man that wouldn't hurt a fly. And she brought up George Floyd's past with drugs, his past with criminal, activity. And those things were true, but does that mean that he should have been murdered right before everyone's eyes? And she said in that documentary that he died of an overdose. And she said in that documentary that the knee wasn't on his neck, it was on his shoulder blade. So I saw the entire documentary, you guys. And when Kanye was on Drink Champs saying he said a prayer for 8 minutes, it's because in the documentary, George Floyd's roommates, a woman and man, they're a couple, they were talking about the day that George Floyd died. He and the woman stood at the top of the stairs and they prayed for 8 minutes. And that was the longest prayer that they had prayed together, just, spontaneously. And she talked about him saying, pray with me because they're looking for a tall guy like me to do something to, just staying. He's a huge man and his size puts fear into some of these cops. And so they won't want to talk to him. They won't want to, just do what they're supposed to do. The first thing they'll do is kill him, So that was his worry. And he actually prayed for 8 minutes on the top of the stairs that same day that his life was taken. So that's what Kanye was talking about. And when he said they hit him with the fentanyl, it was in the documentary. So now we know if we're looking at something that is called a documentary, a lot of it is full of bullshit. Okay. So don't depend on these so-called documentaries that are floating around. But some people don't realize it. I really didn't realize that some so-called documentaries have little bits of truth and a bunch of lies. So we're going to have to just do our due diligence and research things before we put them out on the internet. But you guys let me know what you think about them going after Kyrie Irving. He's another black man that they're making an example of. That's my opinion. What is yours? Let's talk about it in the comments.